Baking shit I've never baked before to prove that baking is easy. Today we're making an apple pie. Before you come at me for not making a pumpkin pie for the spooky season, I really just wanted a challenge, and pumpkin pie would be too easy. I need to make sure after every video of this series there is no doubt that I am the best unranked and uncertified baker in the world. I want all bakers watching this to comment desserts that took them forever to get right. To make things even harder, I don't own a food processor or a rolling pin, so I'm using a blender and a bottle of water. You see, baking is so simple, I don't even need all the necessary equipment. Shout out to Natasha's Kitchen for the recipe. To add a little extra fuck you to all that doubt me, I'm doing a lattice top because I'm petty. Not only did this come out looking delicious, it also tasted incredible with a perfectly cooked bottom. Once again, bacon ain't shit, I am a god, and my ego is still thriving.
I'm gonna show you how to make 5-ingredient edible cookie dough at home.
It's literally cookie dough.
Start by heat treating your flour. That just means chucking it in the microwave for about 30 seconds to a minute to kill any of the bugs. Pour it into a bowl along with your brown sugar, white sugar, and a pinch of salt. Making sure to give it a really good whisk because heat treating the flour can sometimes make it lumpy. Add the melted butter, milk, and vanilla, mixing until a dough forms. And if your dough's too dry and it's not coming together like this, you can add a little bit of milk at a time until it comes together into a proper dough. And you could go crazy with the mix-ins, but I just went with some dark chocolate chips. The full recipe for this is going to be in the caption below, and while you're down there, tell me what mix-ins you'd put in your cookie dough.
Today we're making a super simple chocolate cake, and it's so easy to make. It only takes 4 ingredients. This is the greatest chocolate cake. First, we're gonna mix together 28 crushed up Oreos, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 cup of milk. Pop this into a 350-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Place this back into the oven for a few minutes until the chocolate slightly melts. And there you have it, a simple chocolate cake.
Baking shit I've never baked before to prove that baking is easy. Today we're making panettone. Let's talk for a second about what the hell panettone is because I had no idea. It's bread with dried fruit in it. Basically just an Italian fruit cake. I'm willing to bet at least 80% of the people that challenge me to make this have never tried it before. I mean, do people actually eat fruit cake? Either way, this one was hardly a challenge. In fact, the hardest part of making this was trying to find the paper liners to bake them in. You guys do realize all the bread recipes you have me do are about 20 minutes of hands-on work and hours of just waiting, and in the end these come out looking and tasting perfect. But I never fail, so no surprise there. Once again, baking ain't shit, I am a god and my ego is still thriving.
Baking shit I've never baked before to prove baking is easy. Today I was making chocolate chip cookies. As always, these came out perfect. Once again, baking ain't shit, I's a god and my ego's still thriving.
Probably never heard of it, but this right here is called cloud bread and it only takes 2 ingredients. We start by combining some egg whites, sugar, and cornstarch in a large bowl and whisking it till we have stiff peaks. Now we add in a little blue food coloring, mix it up, and then transfer this to a baking sheet and throw it in the oven. And there you have it. Let me know if you would try this.
Baking shit I've never baked before to prove that baking is easy. Today we're making mrcake. This is apparently one of the hardest French desserts to make. We'll see about that. Why would you name a cake after the opera? Does anyone actually go to the opera? I prefer to listen to real music like Shawn Mendes. What makes this dessert so quote-unquote difficult is all the fancy layers. One of them is cake and the other is melted chocolate. Whoever created this was really going for style points. This definitely won't be the first time in this series that I humiliate the French. I'll give it to them, they got a lot of yummy desserts, but to say they're hard to make is one hell of an overstatement. Let me give you guys some homework. Think of one of the so-called hardest things to bake. Croissants, eclairs, whatever. You got it? Now go make it. Don't overthink it, just do it. You'll realize how easy it really is. I will say this cake was probably one of the tastiest things I've ever had, and I absolutely nailed it. Once again, baking ain't shit, I am a god and my ego is still thriving. Baking shit I've never baked before to prove that baking is easy. Today we got something a little different. You see, I can go on and on completing baking challenges. It takes people years to master, and I will. But every now and then I'm gonna take my baking knowledge I accumulate from this series to make my own creation. And what better way to start than to revolutionize the beloved peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This dessert has 5 components: a peanut butter mousse, a peanut butter brittle, a jelly, a berry coulis, and brioche croutons. I'm calling it, wait for it, the Lewis. What do you think? It's honestly shocking that no one has tried to make a PB&J this fancy, so let me be the first. It takes a real visionary to pull off something like this, and to be honest, I'm just that guy. Some may call me a modern day Picasso of sweets. The Lewis came out tasting absolutely decadent. If you don't believe me, I dare you to try it for yourself. Once again, baking ain't shit, I am a god and my ego is still thriving.
Today I'm going to show you how to make my favorite sweet treat, a soft baked Oreo. You're going to start with 4 eggs, 2/3 cup oil, and then you're gonna take 2 cake mixes. Devil's food works best. Use a bowl and put all of those ingredients in it. I love a good slow-mo action, so I'm giving you some sweet, sweet slow-mo here. Then you mix it all up, and then to roll out your parchment, take a spoonful, roll it into a ball, and then take a spoon to knock them down into like a flatter surface. Throw them in the oven at 325 for about 10 minutes. Then take them out and let them cool. Once they've cooled, you're going to take some frosting and you're going to pipe little spirals on it. You can actually buy the frosting pre-bagged at the store. Then take another cookie, lay it on top, and oh my goodness, it's the best treat ever.
Here's how to make the most amazing cinnamon roll mug cake. Mix together all the ingredients for the cake in a small bowl until smooth. It's up to you how many mugs you want to split it between. Make the cinnamon swirl with butter, light brown sugar and cinnamon. Then pour half the cake batter into a large mug followed by half the cinnamon swirl mix. Pour the rest of the batter on top and smooth it out, then pipe on the rest of the cinnamon mix. Mix together sugar and cinnamon, then sprinkle this all over the cake. Microwave until there's no wet batter left. Remember, all cooking times are a guide, so please watch your cake so it doesn't overflow. Enjoy!
Guys, you need to make this. 4 Oreos, 1/4 cup milk. Smash. Keep smashing. Now, 1 tablespoon sugar, 1 tablespoon flour, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon cocoa powder. Stir. Then you're gonna want put 1 Oreo in there and sink it below and have it covered with that stuff. Microwave 1 minute.
What did you expect? Once again, baking ain't shit, I am a god and my ego is still thriving.
Guys, we're back with the world's most comforting desserts. And this is a tiramisu.
Making shit I've never baked before to prove that baking is easy, today we're making cannelé. I want to start off by saying I have a couple things that are really pissing me off about this recipe, but we'll get to that later. First, I want to say I've seen countless people make this and every single one of them complain about how many tries it took them. What you're seeing here today is my first attempt, so prepare to be amazed. Alright, let's talk about why I'm mad. First, everything was going smoothly, I was making the batter, and then I read the following line: refrigerate for 2 to 3 days. Are you serious? I'll let you know right now, this dessert is good, but not worth 2 to 3 days of waiting. My next problem was the fact that these require some specific copper molds to make them right, and apparently each mold cost about 50 bucks. I had to buy 6 of them. You do the math. Yeah, it's messed up. All that being said, I made these so perfectly on my very first try. I'm actually insane. Once again, baking ain't shit, I am a god and my ego is still thriving.
If you love easy bakes, then this recipe that I found is for you. Just 1 bowl, a whisk, and 3 ingredients are needed to prepare this quick and easy treat. That's right, 3 ingredients. First, in a large bowl, I'm going to add and whisk 4 eggs until well beaten. Then I will add the condensed milk and whisk until thoroughly combined. And lastly, I will gradually add the self-raising flour and whisk until smooth. Then I'm going to pour the batter into the greased and lined baking pan. Then I will bake this for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, here's freshly baked 3 ingredients cake. I'll let this cool completely before dusting the cake.
Did you know that if you sprinkle some sugar on the bottom of a baking pan, arrange strawberries on top and then pour over a very simple vanilla cake batter, you get the most amazing strawberry upside down cake. It's so good and super easy to make because you don't have to make a caramel. Instead, the natural juices from the strawberries combine with the sugar to make this super flavorful sticky strawberry syrup.
Today I'm going to show you how to make these homemade soft pretzels, and I promise it's not as hard as it looks. We're going to start off with a mixture of warm water, active dry yeast, and brown sugar. Whisk it together, and once it's foamy, add the flour, oil, and salt. Then knead in a stand mixer for about 5 minutes, or you can also do it by hand. Then add the dough back into the oiled bowl to rise. Then for the best part, punch down your dough. Then on a floured surface, section them into 12 pieces and roll into rolls. Okay, and to make the shape, it's actually pretty easy. You just cross its legs, cross one more time, fold over, and then adjust it. Then we're going to dip them into a little bath of boiling water and baking soda and brush with egg wash and add our toppings. Bake at 450 for about 10 minutes, and I served mine with some cheese dip, and that's it. Enjoy!
Mojo.com named macarons one of the top 10 hardest dishes to make. I'm here to prove that baking is easy as fuck and to boost my own ego. I've never made macaroons before, and to be honest, I barely bake. But when you bake, you literally measure out everything. There are such certain steps to take that even my grandma's dog's uncle's incestuous brother can make these. You even set a timer for everything. I don't own an electric mixer, so I beat these egg white fuckers into stiff peaks with my bare hands, getting the nastiest pump of my life. I didn't have the guides to measure out the macaroon dollops, but I didn't need it. These things turned out amazing. I whipped up a quick buttercream and piped these things, filling them up with my white cream. My roommates tried these and literally said they were better than the store-bought ones. Moral of the story is baking ain't shit, I am a god and my ego is thriving.
I'm going to show you how to make foolproof French macarons. If you don't know me, my name is Matthew. I won the Macaron Challenge on Food Network's Kids Baking Championship, and I used to sell macarons at grocery stores. This is the base recipe that I use, and it's never failed me. We're going to start by measuring out 2 cups of powdered sugar and a cup of almond flour and sifting it together till there's no lumps. Then you're going to take 3 room temperature eggs, separate them very, very carefully. Gets a little tricky. Pop that into a mixer and start whipping it up. Gradually add in a little bit of sugar till it gets nice and glossy, and maybe a little food coloring if you're feeling crazy. And whip until the egg whites have stiff peaks. You should literally be able to take the bowl and shove it over your head and nothing will come out. We're gonna fold in those dry ingredients in 2 incorporations and very gently pipe out the macarons onto a non-stick baking sheet. Bake them at 315 for 20 minutes. A lot of people make a big deal about weighing the ingredients and having everything be super precise, and they're probably right, but I do it this way and they look perfect every time. I took some strawberries and made a really basic jam, and there you have some foolproof French macarons. Perfect every time.
Before to prove that baking is easy, today we're making an apple pie. Before you come at me for not making a pumpkin pie for the spooky season, I really just wanted a challenge, and pumpkin pie would be too easy. I need to make sure after every video of this series, there is no doubt that I am the best unranked and uncertified baker in the world. I want all bakers watching this to comment desserts that took them forever to get right. To make things even harder, I don't own a food processor or a rolling pin, so I'm using a blender and a bottle of water. You see, baking is so simple, I don't even need all the necessary equipment. Shout out to Natasha's Kitchen for the recipe. To add a little extra fuck you to all that doubt me, I'm doing a lattice top because I'm petty. Not only did this come out looking delicious, it also tasted incredible with a perfectly cooked bottom. Once again, bacon ain't shit, I am a god and my ego